This is a Lip Media podcast.
This is Fab, that's Posh, this is me, I am a memoir, the meaning of Mariah Carey. We are deep into the memoir now. It's chapter 14, our chapter 14, chapter 227, I think, of Mariah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're not keeping up. But as we try and do whenever we can, let's get the Mariah lines, the headlines in Me Moments.
Me moments. Okay, so we're still a little quiet in Mariah world, but we do have a couple of mini incy wincy teensy weensy me moments for everyone to tide us over. So we've had Busta Rhymes announcing that
Busta.
the music video for their recent little collab, Where I Belong, will be dropping.
Ooh.
So they have filmed a music video, and that will be coming to us soon.
One?
Yes. Well, a couple of days ago was the anniversary of their original collaboration. So Busta got on the Twitters and announced that we've got another one coming
That's
soon.
exciting.
That is exciting.
I still don't think I've ever seen the Heartbreaker clip with Jay-Z in it. It's in the cartoon.
Yeah, I think, is that the only one? I don't. Well, no, we'll get to
Jay-Z's
it.
coming in the next couple of weeks. And I'm like,
please don't say
Jay-Z's
Jay-Z's coming. I can't. It's simply too much.
I don't remember ever getting back to that. Like, I'm sure it happened, but when the clip first came out, she was a cartoon and she held up a sign saying,
"Yeah,
Jay-Z's coming in 2 weeks," or whatever it was.
Oh,
because he hadn't made his bit yet.
Okay,
I don't know.
Interesting. But you know what? As we do a couple of little bonus bits, we'll probably unleash
we
the
may
video for that.
Unveil it to ourselves.
Yes, our Jay-Z. We also had a little bit of St. Paddy's Day celebration, some festive green moments between Mariah. Yes.
Sounds unwell.
It does.
I'm having a green moment.
Yeah, well, she was about to say she was having him with dem babies. So that's
dem
even
babies.
worse. But our little sort of podcast personal lead story this week is I have stumbled across a very special Mariah mashup.
Yes.
Yes, I did send this to you. A member of the family obviously had a vision of the future, knowing that we would put these two artists together. Yes. But not just that they also specifically got the song right too.
Yeah, I know.
So it just kind of popped up too. I wasn't searching for it.
No.
But the mashup consists of Mariah's Prisoner and Prove Your Love by, wait for it, Taylor Prisoner Dane.
Oh, I love Prove Your Love.
I mean, of all the songs, like they could have done exactly. And what's so funny about it, as I was listening, there were actually moments where I was like, have they actually somehow like forced Taylor to sing Prisoner? Because it's almost like the two voices blended together. And I was like, it happened.
I get the impression that back in the day, there were a couple of lazy producers who just went, oh, yeah, that worked. I'll do it again.
Yeah.
You got that bit of keyboard you played on that Taylor Dane song? Yeah, just play it again.
It's literally Sock Aitken Waterman.
Yeah.
Someone did a top 100 of the SAW songs.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, good. It's just never going to give you up over and over and over and over. Again, that's fine.
Oh,
but that is all for our Mimi moments this week.
Oh, bless. They were some wonderful Mimi moments, and I love that now we have our own moments.
Yeah, exactly. We are the lead story, darling. How about a recount? A recount. Would you like a recount? Recount.
Last week's episode, and the last chapter.
Yes.
Where Mariah...
I'm so glad you do it because I forget instantly what's happened.
No, it goes right out of your head.
I just remember the things I said.
Last week, Mariah discovered the Lamely. She discovered she was famous. Despite reeling off an impressive list of accomplishments, she had no idea. Also because she was never allowed to see the letter that was written to her by Joey Lawrence from Blossom.
I mean, what do you do? What do you do?
So, yes, we had Tommy being vengeful and burning a book. Ugh, like he's a Nazi.
I thought I was going to say he's the Chicks fan.
Mariah sat in a bath at the end. And she revealed to us something terrible, as well as starting to sing Close My Eyes.
It's the most traumatic thing I think that's happened.
The most
for Fab
traumatic thing
in this
for
book.
me is that she wrote Hero for Gloria Estefan. I still can't get over it. I've been dealing with this trauma for 2 weeks.
And you had to, was it you or I that had to listen to it? I forget now. No, I listened to it this week. That's okay.
How did you find it, having as a listening experience, imagining Gloria singing this?
Well, like I said, I could actually remember her singing. I could envision her singing parts of it, but we've actually got a little extra bit coming very soon for the Lamely. That there's some other Estefan moments that I'm vibing at the moment.
Oh dear,
in Mariah Land. So.
I mean, Gloria was a big influence on many people at the time. Basically, so they're like, well, if she can do it. All right, it's time for the gist.
Yes. What do we got coming toward us? Hopefully not Jay-Z.
No Jay-Z coming towards you. No, we're getting married. Mariah's getting married.
We are? Oh.
We are, yeah.
We're all marrying Mariah.
We're all marrying Mariah. Mariah's getting married.
Imagine if I married you just to shit Gary. Just like we just did it one day.
You wouldn't even notice.
It's been a long engagement. It's been a long engagement.
It's been a very long engagement. I'm old. It's like, it takes a long time for wounds to heal at this age and marriages to happen. But yes, Mariah gets married. She has a honeymoon. And finally, something we thought had been skipped. We're getting our 500 hours of beauty school. Look out.
We do. I'm so here for it. Every minute of the 500 hours.
So let's break it on down.
Break me on down. All right. So we start this chapter with to announce our engagement. So we just off the cuff. Oh, there's no proposal moment. However that happened, it wasn't festive.
It wasn't festive.
And it does not.
It felt very functional.
Yeah. And it does not pertain to the meaning of Mariah Carey.
It does not.
So Mariah and Tommy took Patricia to dinner and was showing off the ring, a tricolour gold band with an immaculate, modest-sized diamond. It was understated, but it was also Cartier. Just... darling.
Cartier. I love how she says Cartier tricolour, but it was Cartier.
Cartier, yes.
I have set the italics to stop.
yeah. That happens a few times in this chapter.
Oh, there's so many italics.
So many Mariah-isms. Now, Patricia looked at the ring on Mariah's slender and very young, I'm going to repeat it, very young finger. And said, you deserve it, and then flew away on a broom.
She went in a limo.
That's not what she said in the audiobook.
Flew away on a broom.
I mean, it's not that far-fetched, is it?
No.
You can sort of imagine it, yeah.
You deserve it.
Yeah.
You have half the finger I have. You do have half the finger I have.
Oh my God. So young and slender. Do you think it's the same finger she used to stroke the couches?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
Your beringed finger.
Yes. Now, Mariah goes on to discuss why she thought getting married was a good idea, even though she was doubting it the entire time.
And she said many people questioned her at the time. And
yes,
she
many
also,
reasonable people.
Reasonable people.
Different to regular, but
regular.
I did love that. Did stand out to me.
Reasonable people. Lunatic said, "Yeah, you should marry him. You deserve it."
And then she flew off on her broom.
Deserve it. I had to put up with Tugboat Tommy. You have to put up with him.
Oh, Tuggy. Oh, I miss Tuggy.
Tuggy.
Now, Mariah
Tuggy
sort of
in the trash heap with the gun.
That's the other Cluedo ending.
Tuggy in the trash heap with the shotgun.
Yeah.
The
in the fridge. Now, Mariah says she thought that the sort of officialness of a marriage and a wedding might calm Tommy down. You know, so he wasn't sort of all over the place with the ownership of the Mariah.
Get married.
Yes,
if we get married,
like, okay,
I'll calm down. He never promised
everything
that.
will be fine. And this is a little sad. She said the idea of a life where she could have success both personally and professionally just was unfathomable to her. Like, what even is that? She thought she wasn't worthy of both, so she made her life choices based on survival. It's a little sad, isn't it?
It is. I mean, she's surviving wonderfully in a $30 million mansion with a big old...
Look, it'd be a challenge.
House.
Yeah.
And but I get it.
It's a challenge I'm willing to take on.
Here's... Oh, my God. Are you ready for... I should put the top down. Okay. So when I was doing Celebrity Splash...
Are you the celebrity? Is that what's
I was an alleged celebrity.
I was on the television
show. So I was on Celebrity Splash. And also on the show was Bryn Edelstein.
Oh, we love Bryn.
She's gorgeous. And, you know, we had to go and glorious Valerie, who did our costumes at Channel 7. She used to do all the Dancing with Stars costumes. She was just an incredible woman. So Valerie was making us these hilarious, outfits to swim in. And so Bryn had been in for a fitting and I was in next and I just missed her. And they said, "Oh, you just missed Bryn. She came in with the dog, turned up in an Aston Martin." And I was like, "Oh, she's got an Aston Martin? Oh my God, I would suck off Jeffrey for an Aston Martin."
Oh, God.
It was just that moment of like, oh, I get it.
Yeah. See, I'm not a car man, so I couldn't do that.
Aston Martin's what James Bond has.
And that is that your friend?
Right.
Is that your friend, Mr.
Yeah,
Bond?
my friend, James Bond. From the shops. He jumps off everything in the shops.
Oh, it's that movie with Dame Judi Dench. Yes.
Yes,
no,
that's the one. Dame Judi Dench. She's his boss.
I wonder what Bryn's up to now.
Last I saw her on the Instagram.
I wonder who she's sucking off now.
She was doing... I think she's an influencer or something. You know what's weird is like... I kind of worked her out halfway through the show. I was like, oh, all that makeup and all that hair and all that is a mask because she's desperately shy. And it's like, while it's actually causing people to look at her more, for her, I think on some level, it's like, oh, you can't really see me because who the fuck looks like this?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think
we just found the meaning of Gina Liano as well.
Maybe, yes.
Yeah. I mean, we assume. It's fine to assume things about women's bodies. It's totally fine.
It is totally
Now, Mariah goes on to say that she thought marrying Tommy was the only way to survive that relationship with him, and that she, in her words, I respected Tommy as a partner, if only he'd known to give me the respect I was due as a human being.
I know. It's you can see, like, it's a terrible relationship because the power is not balanced.
Yeah.
And
how could it ever be?
I know.
And this is what's scary. She's Mariah Carey. Like, this is...
By this point, she's Mariah fucking Carey.
Exactly.
She's like, I've had like 1,400 number ones already.
Yeah, I went through the list last week.
Yeah.
The real list.
Do you want me to hit you in the head with a Grammy?
Then we have the quote, At the first real wedding I attended, I was the bride.
Don't
If
even.
only we were all so lucky, because I have had to sit through some
So
abominations. I mean,
can
the
I just-
heterosexuals. What are they
To all
doing?
the Lamely out there who are planning a wedding, let me
Don't do
tell you-
it.
No, getting married's fine.
In the words of Mariah's friends, don't do it.
In the words of me, don't get married on a fucking boat.
Who got married on a boat?
Oh, some friends of mine. They're lovely, but their friends were assholes. And you can't leave a boat because it's in the ocean.
Yeah. And I'm having visions of Fran Vine's honeymoon with Mr. Sheffield. She goes overboard. They're stranded on an island. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, no, that didn't happen. I mean, it was a converted ferry in Sydney Harbour. It was weird.
Ew.
So it was like public transport wedding. Boat
Was
wedding.
the restaurant tram.
It was like that, but floating. But yeah, just don't have a wedding where people can't escape, where people can't just sneak off back to their hotel room or home or
Just for
wherever.
a quick cry, you know?
Yeah, or for a little
Like,
vom.
I'm glad that's not me.
Cheeky vom. Like, I nearly pushed a woman into the ocean because she was being very forceful. I'm like, what part of my accent and demeanor have you not worked out yet that I am not interested in you in this way? Anyway,
Well, so weddings are horrible.
weddings are difficult.
Yeah. And like myself, Mariah didn't dream of the wedding.
No.
Mine was because I didn't think I'd legally be allowed to. But Mariah did not dream of weddings. She visualized a dream of becoming a successful musician. See what she did there?
I visualized a dream.
Not the only time that happens in this chapter.
Oh, this chapter is like, I seriously, I got to the end of it. I was like, she used to like break it out and have like a little, give herself a credit at the bottom. But now she's just like, I'm just going to fold it into the text now. Let's just make it all one big mush.
And I do wish that she was like, I didn't dream about weddings. I visualized, but she doesn't.
She doesn't.
I'm like, no,
I would love that.
Mariah, what are you doing? So basically she's like, it's hilarious that I was that girl and yet here I was having one of the most lavish New York weddings that anyone's ever been had, you know? Now, then she sort of goes on to say in her words, black part of her very much confused Tommy.
Yes, and he wanted it gone.
He did not. He wanted to wash the urban.
Yes,
off,
he wanted to mainstream her as an artist. So
She could not have the straight hair.
Yeah.
Couldn't have straight hair. But he insisted she wear curls because he thought that made her look Italian.
Yes.
Right. That's straight male logic.
Well, his
in
last
the
name's
90s.
Matola, so
Yes, he was. He's not. I was going to say he was Italian. He's not anymore.
You know what it is?
He
It's
converted.
every Italian man marrying his mother. No, you gotta look like my mother.
God, it's quite terrifying.
I know.
Just the thought of marrying a woman, ooh. How is that legal?
Being misogynist.
And then we get the best part of the book so far, in my opinion. We get our 500 hours of beauty school.
And I love that she went to beauty school because she saw Grace.
Yeah, I know. This is all Olivia Newton-John's doing.
Well, Olivia Newton-John inspired the fans in her hair, and now Olivia has inspired the
that's true.
500 hours of beauty school.
And this moment actually did have me looking up their little performance of, was it Hopelessly Devoted to You?
Oh, yes, in Melbourne.
Yeah, random.
Yeah, and I was meant to be at that concert.
Oh,
And
why weren't you?
Well, she cancelled the second concert, but the second concert had gone on sale first.
Yes, Sarah, we have mentioned this. Yeah. Is this when she went on Hey Hey and was having a bit of some throat issues?
I think so, yeah. It was 98. Not okay.
Well, because I actually came across it because somehow, the original RuPaul show came up on my YouTubes, and it was an interview with ONJ. Mm-hmm. And I jumped on and he was asking a very familiar question, which is the new generation of singers.
Oh, no.
But this was sort of in the 90s, and one of them was Mariah that he asked her about. And she went on to say that how much she loved her and that they'd performed together. And I was like, oh, hang on a second, clickety clack, I've got to get onto that.
Oh, yes.
So
That's on
exciting.
the All Around the World DVD.
Yes.
I have that one, of course.
Now, of course you do.
Shrine.
We might have to watch that. Now, I do think we might have to watch your purple VHS or whatever it was. We
can
learn...
watch that. It's very good. I know it off by heart.
Okay, perfect.
It's just songs. There's no chat.
Okay, that's okay. Now, we learned that all of this occurred around 11th grade because we were trying to figure out when. When did she do this? She decided...
It was her year
regular
12.
high school. Yeah. She's like, I don't want to go to regular high school.
I'm not going to regular high school. No. I'm going to beauty school.
Exactly. Now, this beauty school class was made up mostly of Italian girls.
Yes.
There were the mean girls.
The mean girls.
There were the shy girls.
The shy girls.
There were the regular girls named Jennifer.
Regular girls named Jennifer.
And then there were the girls.
The
girls also had a name. The non-Jennifer. These girls had a name that I did Google that we're also probably not supposed to say. They're just the girls. Yeah. It came up on the Wikipedia as a slur. So I was like, okay.
Oh, yes.
Staying away from that.
Well, that's what they called themselves, according to
and that's where it gets complex. But, we are not...
she had no idea what that meant. Mariah.
No, I know.
I had no idea what that meant. Where we shouldn't say it because we do know what it means.
We do, exactly. Now
it's like a singing group or something.
Now these girls, they were terminally tanned, which sounds like they're dying.
Well, that's what happens if you go to solarium. It is
true.
A deadly thing. It's illegal
true.
in this country.
They were terminally tanned, coiffed, however you say it, bejeweled, fingernailed, sex-having girls.
Sex-having girls.
They were sex-having people. Now, Mariah liked them even though they were sex people, and would often sing and make jokes around in class, and that's how they sort of became friendly. That's how she won them over. But then, alas, almost as quickly as that book was opened, the book closes on beauty school. Yeah. Wasn't meant to be. As she says, she had another sweet destiny waiting. Yes, she did. But I did love, what did she say? She would never be crowned queen of finger waves.
That sounds worse than it actually means.
It does. Then we fast forward, but also rewind to her marrying Tommy again, right? So we've gone around the world.
I do like this timelessness that we've got.
It is fun. What is time? No one knows.
Well, I don't know.
Now, she didn't expect to do that, to actually marry Tommy, but it happened anyway, as she explains. It just happened anyway. Look, it's happened. All right. Now, she thought, since this is happening anyway, let's make it festive. Let's make it an italic extravaganza, darling.
Italics.
But there was no mother of the bride running the show here.
No.
Lord knows this was beyond anything Patricia could comprehend.
Lord knows dreams are hard to follow. I know that one's
exactly. I know.
Because that was meant to be glorious. Sorry. I'm still scarred from last week.
I know. Forever. You okay?
Sorry,
Do you need a minute?
I'll be okay.
Okay.
Fucking yes.
Can I go on? Oh my god. Okay, so instead of the Patricia helping the mother of the bride, there was the middle-aged, and I've written in brackets 30-year-old wife of Tommy's friend who helped her with the details, including the dress. TM, the dress trademark. The dress was an event.
The dress was
the dress. We were apparently designed by one of the most prominent female fashion designers of the era. Does Mariah not know Vera Wang? Is there a reason? Or one of the prominent female designers of the time?
Was it Vera Wang?
I believe so. I looked it up. When I first looked it up, people were saying Valentino, but obviously it was a female designer. And I kept the Googling and it came up as Vera Wang. Maybe it wasn't. But I know, I was like, surely you would just say, was designed by Vera Wang. I feel like we know who that is. But maybe Mariah does not. She's just a prominent female designer. I don't need names.
Don't know.
She was very much inspired by the Princess Diana. There was a 27-foot train and princess elements all up in that. As well as, I know this is not how it's meant to be said, but exaggerated puff sleeves.
Oh, don't.
Definitely.
Puffy sleeves.
Exaggerated puff sleeves was definitely your nickname in high school. And as it happens, Diamond Tiara, which she was wearing on her head, was my nickname in high school.
It is still your nickname.
when she said it, of course she said poof, so I didn't really think anything of it. But when I just read the line exaggerated poof sleeves, I was like, it's like Adam wrote this. I don't understand. Now, she also goes on to say that Tommy didn't disappoint on his end because he was in charge of the audience. What did she say? The audience. I mean, the guest list.
The guest list. The audience.
Yeah. Now, the audience included Babs the Streisand.
Yes.
Bruce the Springsteen.
Yes.
And Ozzy the Osbourne. Plus, his best man was Robert De Niro. Did they know each other? Or was this one of those awkward Liza Minnelli,
I don't know.
Just invite random celebrities.
Well, he's not on
the
the
Tom
record
Cruise
label,
and the Katie Holmes.
So I guess maybe they do know each other. Maybe
he's
their
Italian.
mums knew each other.
Yeah, he's
Maybe their
Italian, so
mums
they
were
all know.
friends.
Yes,
Yeah.
But it just makes me think of was it Tom and Katie's wedding where people were just randomly like Brooke Shields was invited.
What
after
about
that
Bryn
kerfuffle.
Edelsten and Jeffrey Edelsten's wedding?
Yeah.
Where your very good friend was in attendance.
Oh, really?
Yes, Fran Drescher went to that wedding.
Oh, Fran. I thought you were talking about someone that I don't know. That's right. I love Fran Drescher. Do you know that?
She didn't know either of them, but she went to the wedding.
Yeah. So did you see the Fran Drescher interview on the Today Show sort of 6 months ago?
No.
It made headlines because they didn't get to ask a single question.
Oh.
She spoke for 5 minutes straight, the whole segment, about all of her special sprays that she uses to combat COVID-19. And I'm on vitamin E and like just, and it was
cool.
it was amazing because it was so sweet. Like she was honestly just trying to help, and it's like, oh, this is who you are. Yeah. It's very similar to the Barbra Streisand eating soup with Alec Baldwin on the podcast.
Oh my God, I love that one.
It's very similar to that. Now, it went a little bit viral and everyone was like, oh my God. And I discovered that she actually went back on recently so they could ask the questions that they meant to ask the first time.
But when she got distracted by her sprays.
Yes. And then they kind of made a joke about it. And she said, I won't do that this time. And then proceeded to do exactly that again.
Yay,
and the poor guys were just laughing. And it's like, how maybe she couldn't see them, but it was a lot.
Yeah. Maybe
We
her
love
earplug
Fran,
kept falling out. She's like, I can't hear them. I'll just keep talking until someone interrupts me.
Oh, but I do.
not happening.
And then she just smiles this sort of sweet, earnest smile, and it's like you can't hate her. You've got to love her.
I know, she's adorable.
Anyway,
and she went to Bryn and Jeffrey's wedding, and she didn't even know them, but she was invited, and bless her.
So Tommy had the De Niro. Unfortunately, no Fran Drescher. That would have been great.
I know. Well, she
I also would have
been
loved...
horrified by the poof sleeves because
It's true.
her husband would have been off in the
Oh, God.
off in the cloakroom.
Where have I
with
seen
them.
that sleeve before? That's also a great show that she turned that into. Now, I would have also loved if the Italian girls, were at this wedding because that would have been fabulous.
know.
But instead, we had Josephine and Clarissa. Now, at least we know who they are, so that's nice.
Long time and trusted friends who brought her no comfort.
No, none comfort.
None comfort.
Comfort, zero.
Uncomfort.
She was
No one
deathly
could.
afraid.
Deathly afraid.
Deathly afraid.
That is not a good way to be feeling at your church.
No, we'll get there. I have some thoughts on that.
So I love that she got married in the majestic Thomas Hayden Church. Sounds uncomfortable for him.
Yeah, I feel like there's another person who has a similar name to that. Oh, Eric Christian Olsen. For some reason, I always get him confused with Thomas Hayden Church.
Yeah, no.
And I think he's like, no offense if you're listening, Eric, I'm sure you are. I think he might be a television show killer. Because he came into it and it was cancelled.
Ted McGinley used to be the television show killer.
Although he was on Hope and Faith with Kelly Ripa, so I can't argue with that.
Did it get cancelled after he turned up?
No, he was in it for all 4 seasons.
Oh, okay. No, he turned up in Happy Days and they cancelled it.
Did he really?
Yes.
I knew the Married with Children, and that was like his one.
And then that was cancelled.
No, he was on it for a long time though, like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, but then they cancelled it because he replaced the original guy who was creepy.
Yeah.
He turned up on The Love Boat and they cancelled it. He turned up on
Really?
Dynasty and they cancelled it.
Who does he think he is? Heather Locklear?
I know.
Now that's a show I'd watch.
Ted
Ted
McGinley,
and Heather
Locklear.
Locklear.
What do they do?
Regular
They
named Locklear.
solve crimes. She plays a character called Jennifer.
Oh my God. Can we speak about this? So one of my favourite things is also happening, which is Katie Sagal, aka Piggy Bundy. So this does relate. She's got a new show coming out where she is a cop.
She
solves, or a detective or something. She's wearing a suit and she solves things. It is legitimately in my lane. This is what I need.
Do you know what I'm desperate to watch? Is the crossword puzzle mysteries.
Who's in that?
It's a series
90s,
of telly movies.
Middle-aged 90s actress.
Very fascinating for the lambs. It stars the romantic couple from Mariah Carey's feature film directing debut, Lacey Chabert and Craig from Unreal. So the affordable mean girl.
Did you just say Craig from I'm Real?
No, Unreal.
Unreal. Oh, that's a different thing. I've not heard of that.
Unreal. It's a drama about a reality TV show that's like The Bachelor and people die.
Oh God,
it's full on.
They had to change the name because someone else used it first.
Yeah. Anyway, it's Claudia from Party of Five, the affordable mean girl.
Yeah.
And she solves crimes using her crossword powers. I think she writes the crosswords. I'm not sure.
Oh my God. She just watched Ghost Whisperer with the other sister.
Yeah.
And was like, well, I'll just do that.
Yeah.
But with crosswords, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost what it is. But yeah, they were both together in Mariah Carey's directorial debut. So I feel like we need to watch the crossword mysteries.
That might be our next, like an episodic.
When Mariah gets to the directing the Christmas movie,
we'll just go through Lacey Chabert's
section.
IMDb.
We will watch all. No, just the things with those two in them because they were both in the movie together.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. And Mariah had all the good lighting. Like, no one else was allowed to have the lights.
The only lighting. Mariah had the only lighting.
Oh, no. Everyone else had all the lights. Mariah just had some specific lights. Like, it was like 4 days of setting up Mariah's lights. And as she's the director
for her
everyone
one
else,
scene.
She's gone, I just turned them all on. Like, we can see them. That's fine. It's just we don't need to see
them. They were
lights.
just the warehouse lights.
Yeah. The cleaning lights that we used to have at the pub.
Oh no, Chris Riley was there from Blue Healers because she's in every pub in my brain. Now that is a show she needs a spin-off.
Yes.
we
Anyway, are completely distracted.
Speaking of actresses who are playing detectives, Mariah says her face was shaking involuntarily at the altar. Now the only time this has happened to me was for the opposite reason. It's because I was so excited to meet Lucy Lawless that I could not control my face. I look sick in the photo.
Yeah.
I just had some surgery. I was very problematically thin and I was all gums, which I'm not normally. I have some teeth. They are there. But I was 100% gum that day. Gum, I said, with a G. But all was fine at the end. And it's because they walked out of Thomas Hayden Church, as one does, and they saw the Lamely.
Yeah.
And Mariah said, well, this is all that
them.
matters.
I got married for my fans. Thank you.
She got married for us, specifically.
I love her grandfather screaming out Mariah.
I know.
So
I didn't quite get the reference.
Mariah. I don't.
Because what did she say? There was something she said about it.
She said like he was yelling out her name like he was on the block. Like just.
Yeah. Does she mean like what? Like the television show The Block on Channel 9?
No, the block where they grew up probably. Like,
right.
You know, where
regular people come from. Don't be fooled by the non-Cartier rocks that they got.
There's still a regular name from the block.
Now, we had a reception, darlings, a very quick one at the Metropolitan Club, which was chosen simply for its initials, MC, which was monogrammed everywhere.
Don't mention it to TM.
But it was basically not very memorable for Mariah. It was like the plot of that Hero movie. She just didn't absorb it.
Yeah.
The night before this, though, we flash back. Mariah had a little girls' night with some of her friends, and they were like, don't have to do this, Mariah. Don't have to do it. And she was like, it's the only way out. Well, there was no way out, so the only way is through.
You have to get married.
And as she said, though she feared the stifling hot mess of a relationship, it would only become more foul and imbalanced.
Yeah.
A few words getting... She meant that
Stifling hot mess.
Hot mess. Now, the next day they went on their honeymoon-ish.
In Hawaii. Amazing.
I've got to say, I didn't even take that detail in.
I was excited. I was like, oh, they're in Hawaii. And then at someone's house. What?
At someone's house. Not even someone she knows. Maybe they had a regular name.
Some regular name person's house.
Yep.
I do like that was I was like I was horrified by that. And then Tommy kept working.
Yes. And more than that, he was yelling.
He was yelling. He was having a fight with the publicist about
People magazine.
About People magazine and putting the pictures on the cover. Amazing.
About regular name magazine. But there was no romance. They were staying at someone else's house. They were arguing. Now Mariah chimed in to this with, well, you have to be. It's an event, darling. It's a moment. That was the point.
Yeah.
And then everyone yelled at her.
And
Mariah no one stood up
Carey.
for her. I
got married. It should be on
You're
the cover of
You're not going to put me a little
magazine.
stamp in the corner. No, it's not going to happen. So Mariah ran out crying. She hightailed it down the beach.
Yeah.
And the worst part was we hadn't even digested the wedding cake.
Not even. I know.
Running on a full stomach. Not good.
No, in a
Not
bikini.
Good. In a bikini. Mariah then came across a bar and she thought, awesome, I could do with a splash, darling.
Yes.
But she had no ID, no money. And because she was wearing a bikini and a sarong, she looked like every other basic bitch on the beach.
And she'd been crying.
She'd been crying.
So, all of her
5% of her makeup had rubbed off.
Yeah, like only there was only 400 hours worth of makeup on it.
Yeah, I mean, what's
beauty school?
the point?
Yeah.
Like, she might as well have a regular name. I don't, So she felt very regular, which is not normal for Mariah. She hardly looked like an international pop star who'd sold 4 trillion copies of her first album.
I know.
Not at all.
Millions of records worldwide.
So she had to call her manager.
Even here in Hawaii.
Even Hawaii, especially in Hawaii. So she had to call her manager and get him to, or her to give the bartender a credit card. Yes. It was the whole thing. 1-800 reverse. Holly Valance was there to get a credit card number just so she could get a drink. But I will say she ordered a daiquiri because they are delicious and she's not an idiot.
No, and she's on holidays. You're gonna have a daiquiri when you're in Hawaii. What else are you gonna drink? Hello.
So she was still on brand. She gets it.
Bless her.
Now, eventually, reluctantly. Mariah did make her way home or to someone's house.
Back to someone's house.
Basically to sit in silence with Tommy, and she ends the chapter with, that was the day I began to hold...
Once again, she and Tommy would sit in silence.
In silence.
After all is said and done. Only emptiness inside us. Baby, look what we've become.
Oh my God. And then she sings. But she ends the chapter on, that was the day I began to hold my breath and resist the undertow of Tommy.
Oh, because she's at the beach. She's giving us a beach metaphor.
Exactly.
Great.
And the beach is her bathroom. It's all tying back. Yeah. It's all coming back to me now, Celine.
Woo! What a chapter.
What a chapter.
That is... I mean, it's a wedding. You want it to be a good chapter. If it was a soap opera, someone would have died and someone else would have fallen off a roof.
Have you seen that? Have you seen the thing that's going around on the Facebooks and stuff that's the most dramatic scene you've ever seen? And it's I don't know.
Is it where Texas gets married in Hollyoaks and falls out the window?
No. Oh, that sounds good though. No, it's
she gets pushed out of the window by a man pretending to be in a wheelchair. Oh. But you don't know that at the time. It's
like a soap opera from a non-English speaking country. I don't want to say exactly because I don't know exactly where. But essentially someone in the family pisses someone off and they get slapped.
Yes.
But the slap is so strong that they spin round and round and round and they fall into a curtain. And then the little, dangly thing
goes, black, 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 black,
wraps around her neck.
Oh, heaven.
And she falls and starts hanging and dying. And then it's like 4.5 minutes of the family going, how do we unravel this? And she's like, turning blue. It is everything
I love a good soap opera. Wedding / murder.
Now that I've said it, like Google will figure out how to show it to you because that sort of shit happens all the time.
Yeah, I know. It's very strange. That's how Taylor Dane singing Prisoner got into your
Absolutely.
life.
Absolutely. I think it's time for a little Mariah moodiness. Mariah made it. Okay, so for our last chapter, A Family, I gave that a 9.
Yes.
Because I'm normal. Fab gave it infinity to the power of infinity.
Well, we had 2 musical origins. We had the origin story of Close My Eyes and the horrifically tainted origin story of Mariah squeezing out a number 2 while she popped out a big number 1 for Gloria Estefan. It was a big moment. How can that not be infinity?
Did any soap opera people get hung? No, I don't think so. Now, this is interesting. So the Lamley did vote for infinity. However, it was just over the line.
Oh.
There was quite a spread this week. We even had some votes from 1 to 4.
No. Mm-hmm. Well, that's because of fucking Gloria and her dirty fingers.
So yeah, it seems the Lamley weren't so sure about their own chapter.
Well,
but maybe
because
there's more to come.
I think because of the dirty fingers. Gloria.
If I ever meet Gloria, I'm going to be like really watching her hands.
Don't touch me with your COVID fingers.
Now, for this chapter, my big fat Sony wedding and little skinny honeymoon, we had something I've been waiting for.
What?
This whole time. The 500 hours of beauty school.
Oh, yeah, I know. That is
So
the meat that you have been missing.
It was
you
a
were
plot
like,
hole.
I have
It was a
not
plot hole.
enjoyed this sandwich because some of the meat is missing.
Yeah.
And finally, you've taken this bite and you've gone, oh, there it is.
It's there. And so
Right
for
there.
that, I am giving infinity.
Oh, my God.
It happened.
Poshfinity happened. I can't believe we finally got Poshfinity.
Look, I think it has. It just hasn't happened for a few weeks. It was happening a lot in Wayward Child because there was a lot of drama.
Yes.
But I just felt there was a lot of prelude
Yes.
leading up to the infinity. And I just wanted to, I like to take my time. Don't like to blow my wop all in one go.
Yeah, no,
you know?
don't. You get the mops. you don't want to have the mop out right away.
You've got your tarp, so that
I've
helps.
got my tarp, so I'm fine.
I don't have a
No,
tarp.
you don't have a tarp.
I could, but I don't want one.
So infinity, that is amazing.
So what score? If you turn around and go, look, it's the 3.5. But then she sung a song, so it's infinity times infinity.
Well, that's kind of where we are. Look, I was going to give it about an 8.5 to a 9. Because it's like, the wedding. I've seen the photos so many times. I bought that copy of People Magazine / Who Weekly here in Australia.
Yes.
And, I was like, yeah, I'm really not into Tommy. Tommy's creeping me out. As much as I loved what he did for her career, I don't like what he's doing to her personally, on a personal level. Mm-hmm. The power imbalance is inappropriate. She's an employee. Like,
yeah,
this is not okay.
Yeah. Did you go to HR about this?
I know. Well, and that's one of the things. Like when she said, I think the only reason he wanted to marry me is because of the gossip that he was having an affair with one of his acts. And it's like, yeah, that gossip was correct.
Yeah,
that should have been.
It's just fact.
That should have been out in the open. Like he's got 7 demerits from HR right now. Getting married is not going to reduce them.
No.
So yeah, I was kind of, was not okay with it. But then when she folded in 700 lyrics into the actual telling of the story, I'm like, Mariah, what are you doing to me? I have to infinity you. I have to.
Yeah, I simply must.
So infinity 6.
Okay. So not Infinity Plus 6 or mine. It's just Infinity 6 like Fast and the Furious 6.
Yeah. Infinity 6, like Apollonia 6 or whatever.
I don't actually know what that is, but okay. Is that a luncheon meat?
Yeah, that's a luncheon meat.
Apollonia. I had an Apollonia sandwich at my wedding to Tommy.
Vanity 6, Apollonia 6, whatever they were.
Now, I will, of course, put this up for the Lamley to have a little vote, and maybe they'll like me this week. But I think it is time for the remix. The remix. Is there anything you'd remix if you were there, if you were at the wedding?
Don't marry
Is there
Tommy.
something you would...
Again. You know what? I do have one big remix for this. Like, I mean, the whole thing needs to be remixed, basically. Yeah. But
let's get an ODB feat. Let's get it all happening.
Yeah. My big remix is when you heard you were going on a honeymoon to someone's house with all of your $1 trillion and your million album sales, just give a little, just put that little wedding slipper down and go, nah, presidential suite at a hotel, mate. Not someone's house.
Do you reckon it was Gloria Estefan's house?
Don't ruin the wedding as well! We're going to get to the Divas concert. I'm going to have troubles.
Yeah. No, I think Celine's going to suffer the most in that chapter, just quietly.
So, yeah, I just don't get it. I didn't understand. It's someone's house. Are they there? Because the implication was that they were there. It's fine if it's someone's house and they're not there. But if they're there...
They're popping in like Amy Poehler in Mean Girls. Do you guys need anything?
I'm a cool mom.
You keep me young. Okay, so my remix was, if I was Mariah, I'd have gotten rid of the wedding guests. Popped Babs in an Uber. Sorry, gotta go.
Yeah.
I would have invited the Lamley in from outside. Yes. And instead of marrying Tommy, I would have done a show.
Yes.
That would have, at the Thomas Hayden Church. Stunning.
Well, I did go to a celebrity wedding once. That was...
You've been to a couple, haven't you?
New idea. And the wedding...
Have we talked about this one before, or is it different?
No, maybe. But yeah, the bride sang some songs in her dress, and it was...
Was it Ricky Lee?
It was Ricky Lee,
yeah.
It was so good. If Mariah did a number at her wedding, I'd be like, this is
we love the Ricky Lee.
Yeah.
That's who I'm named after.
Yeah.
I assume.
But yeah, I think that's a good remix. I like that remix.
Yeah, I think that'd just be fun. Yeah. What a better way that chapter would have gone. Yeah. So I think it's time for Can Take That Away, Mariah's lesson. Can take that away. Oh, Mariah's lesson. So what lesson has Mariah taught you this week from this chapter?
It's a lesson about lessons.
Oh, okay.
I have learned that learning is important.
Okay.
Even if you don't end up doing that job that you do 500 hours of training for.
Yeah.
It's still valuable lessons. You're still learning something. Mm-hmm. So just stick at it until, you get through it. As Mariah did. She's like, I know I'm not going to be any good at this. My finger wave's no good.
No.
But, she met some lovely people. She learned some things. And, if you've seen her MTV Cribs and you've seen her personal beauty salon, where she pops in and asks, how many hours of beauty school did everyone do?
Serena Williams is doing nails in the corner.
And they're all like, 1,200 hours. She goes, well, I've got 500. I've got 500 hours.
Yes, I'm not far.
So, and she does talk about it. And she knows, she's very controlling about her look and her makeup and her hair. And that all comes from having learned from 500 hours.
Well, maybe that's where she learned to install fans.
Maybe.
That is valuable. So you're right.
So all learning is good. Even if you don't use it in your actual career.
Yeah. Transferable skills, darling.
It's just learning is always important. Always be learning.
Okay. That was an unexpected but fruitful lesson.
I know. It was a lesson about lessonings. About lessonings. Another of our made-up words.
The art of lessoning. It ain't easy. All right, so I actually had two this week.
Oh, you got two?
One's a serious one is the stupid one.
Yep.
So the serious one is if your closest friends are telling you do not go through with the wedding, because that would be, as a friend, that would be a scary spot to put yourself in.
Yeah.
To be telling your friends, oh yeah, I don't think you should marry this guy. And you go to the front of the altar feeling, in your own words, deathly afraid, probably shouldn't go through with it.
But we're talking about a terrible power imbalance. Like what? Surely
this is not a remix. This is the lesson
but I'm just saying,
telling us.
surely there's a part of her brain that was like, if I don't marry him, is that it? Is my career done?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And maybe we'll find out later on that nearly happened.
Yeah. You mean there's more? We've not finished the book. Now, the other lesson that I learned from Mariah is if you're running along the beach to escape your husband on your honeymoon and you come across a bar and you have no ID, try to do it while dressed as an international pop star because it will help.
It will help, yeah.
It will help because then you'll be able to get a drink much easier. You won't have to call your manager. They'll just know. They'll be like, you are international recording artist Mariah Carey.
It did remind me a little bit of the traumatic scene in What's Love Got to Do With It when Tina Turner is all black and bruised and got nothing and she's crying and she goes, I'm Tina Turner, can I get a room in your hotel? I promise I'll pay you back, I'm a superstar. She doesn't say it like that.
I think I remember that.
But
it's been a very long time since I've seen that film.
It was a like that, but that was an actual true story.
Who starred as Tina?
Angela Bassett.
I was going to say, was it Stella? Yeah.
Angela Bassett.
And was that pre or post Groove?
Before or after Stella? I think it was before Stella's Groove.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I will say, I think she might be the best thing about the American Horror Story franchise.
Oh, she's so good. She's good in everything.
We love the A-Bass. Love A-Bass.
She's great in the Black Panther. She's the
seen
Queen.
The Black Panther.
Come on. Oh. I know.
That's a superhero movie, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a superhero movie.
Yeah, no, I don't know them.
Yeah. If she was solving a crime, you'd be all over it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Especially if she was with Peggy Bundy or Lucy Lawless. Melissa Joan Hart, I mean...
Jennifer Love Hewitt on the phone, taking a phone.
Sorry, all I heard was Love Hewitt. That's so strange.
Regular Love Hewitt on the phone.
Yeah. If it was Beck Hewitt, I wouldn't watch it.
No.
Now, speaking of I don't know hers, who don't we know in this chapter?
Well, I feel like we don't know Streisand or Springsteen. Or De Niro.
See, I feel like we do not know Vera Wang.
We clearly don't know Vera Wang.
We do not know Vera Wang. And I also don't think we know the shouty publicist.
I was going to say, that publicist is totally not known. That publicist doesn't even get a name.
They have a regular job.
Yeah. I wonder what Vera did to upset Mariah.
I know. Well, it's probably nothing. We're just starting a war.
She was very well known for her wedding dresses at the time.
I don't know. I don't know either.
I don't know what she does now. Makes a tracksuit. You know what it is? What? I bet she designed one of those Diamante tracksuits for regular name.
Or maybe one of her many wedding dresses. Did you see this week that there was... reports that regular name and A-Rod had called things off, but then she's sort of clapped back saying, no, not so much.
Oh.
So now we don't know if there's going to be a regular wedding or not.
Oh, no.
Maybe Vera Wang's a part of it.
Maybe. Vera Wang's part of the regular name conspiracy.
Absolutely. Vera... It's a little on the regular, like maybe not so much anymore, but it used to be.
Yeah, she used to be known for her wedding dresses. Now she has something to do with regular things, like a tracksuit with a Diamante.
Which is sad because I feel like Mariah would really love that. I feel like she'd feel very comfortable.
That's a look Mariah can't go with now because she's glamorous. It's always a gown.
True.
24/7 gowns.
Now. I think we're ready for some Mariah.
Mariah is. Are you still singing? No, you stopped.
Hang on.
No, you're done. No,
What?
no, stop it. You're confusing me.
Mariah. Hang on.
So, what's your...
Sorry.
Stop it. I have so many Mariah-isms this week.
So last chapter, there are so many Mariah-isms. Last chapter, of course, we selected the Mariah-isms, put it to the Lambs to vote. The two options were, and here's a side note with a side eye, or Joey Lawrence. Remember him from Blossom?
Remember him?
Now, there is no surprise. We knew what was going to win.
Yeah.
But what the surprise was, it wasn't a landslide. There was some votes for old Joey Lawrence.
Well, remember him from Blossom?
They remembered him.
I remembered him.
It was probably actually Joey Lawrence searching his own name on Twitter. But yeah, Side Eye did win. No surprise there. No. And it just makes things harder for me because it means that you get to go first again and that you'll probably, again, pick the best one and then I'll be screwed.
No, I'm going to choose my favourite one, which I don't think will be your favourite one.
Okay.
My Mariah-ism this week is, once again, I would sit in silence after all was said and done.
Oh, okay. Because it's tying back for you.
Just folding back those lyrics from the demo he took off her and listened to in the car when she was wearing the chunky socks and he maybe had a suit on.
Yeah. Did you see her socks? I'm just trying to see. The wedding dress is behind me. Is she wearing
She's
chunky
not wearing
socks?
the chunky socks. No, she's wearing
what was she doing? Is he? And he might be wearing.
He might be wearing a suit.
I don't know. My head's covering. Okay, well, I'm glad because I'm going to give you a few.
Oh, please, so many
runners up because there was quite a few. So we had Tommy focus on curating the most influential audience. I mean, guest list that he could. We had the Queen of Finger Waves.
Yes.
We had many reasonable people questioned. Reasonable question. We hadn't even digested the wedding cake.
Oh, that was my number two. We hadn't even digested the wedding cake. I mean, it's a 5-hour flight.
It was eventually Mariah's number two as well. It was eventually a number two. Now, my runner-up was, Lord knows this task was beyond anything my mother could ever comprehend.
And dreams are hard to follow.
But don't let anyone get on a broomstick and fly away.
Lord knows what else.
Now, but my Mariah-ism for the week, it's a little more subtle.
This is your actual Mariah-ism.
But it is from that same paragraph, which is, even a capable mother or sister couldn't manage the production we were going to put on.
Oh.
I was like, I gasped because she's so subtle, but even a capable mother or sister. She was only talking about Patricia, but I'm just going to throw Alison in there as well.
I'm now imagining
not capable.
All those Italian girls with their nail art and their little sly diamantes. Mariah has done her nails for this chapter and little razor blades on each one and just a little slash.
Yeah.
At the reputation of mother and sister, just right there.
I loved the casualness at which Alison was kind of thrown in there. Like, she's not mentioned at all. But even a capable mother or sister.
Well, it's just, that's who normally helps you plan a wedding. It's the female members of your family.
True.
And she's gone.
But it just, not capable. No. But that's what's funny. It's not even that they're not capable of doing the wedding. It's just they're not capable, full stop. Not capable. Me, I am not capable. Is that our name? That might be our name. But no, I think it was because of the double whammy of Lord knows this task was beyond anything Patricia could comprehend. She couldn't even comprehend it. No. So I think it was the double whammy that just got, but just such a
glorious.
Simple
I love
Mariah-ism. And so that is mine this week. So we'll put that up for the Lamb. At the end of the podcast. Podcast, baby. Almost there, almost home. You could probably say, but you won't because of copyright.
Oh, all right. Next chapter is going to be Thanksgiving is cancelled.
Yes.
And There's the one
It's
after.
the fantasy.
The fantasy.
Living the fantasy.
I'm excited.
Bit of a Thanksgiving DP. And who doesn't love it?
Did not just DP a book chapter. That sounds way uncomfortable.
It's just a stuffed turkey. I don't know what you're talking about.
Ooh,
and it might be cancelled. I don't know. We'll find out.
But that's in a couple of weeks' time.
Yes.
Next week, we are going to, because there's been so much talk about her music, we're going to dig into her debut album.
Yes.
As
Just come out, boy.
we'd call it, her debut, Mariah Carey, which I've got on the vinyls somewhere, mate.
Yes.
Anyway.
Because we want to give this podcast everything.
Everything.
It's like if Mariah's talking about this album, we've got to talk about this album.
We're going to talk
about what's happening.
So we're going to talk about the album. We're going to talk about the video clips.
Yes.
So next week, a bonus episode. And then in 2 weeks' time, we'll be cancelling Thanksgiving and having a fantasy.
Absolutely.
All right, darlings. Big air kisses.
Mwah.
Bye, Lamely.
Bye, Lamely.